YouTube, what is up? James MTG Biggie here, and I'm back with another video kind of collecting and discussing a lot of different topics with Magic the Gathering. As you can see, I am here at my place of employment and had a little gap of time today between tattoos where I have the opportunity to make a video. So first and foremost, getting into it, I would like to just quickly recap my experience at Grand Prix Orlando. First and foremost, I had a great time. I did poorly in the main event. I ended up going 2 and 4 and then dropping. Probably should have dropped after 2 and 3, but I played one more round out, just kind of waiting around with my other friends to drop, the ones who did, and took the opportunity to grab some food, walk around, play a couple side events, and hang out. The GP itself was a good time, a lot of fun. The side events were great. Got to play some Legacy. Got to watch one of my good friends play a bunch of Modern side events, his first time ever being at a GP. A couple of my friends made day 2. My buddy Nick, my buddy Dave did very well day 1, made it into day 2, and then kind of fizzled out day 2, but still got there. So it was nice. It was a good time, and it felt really good to get out for a weekend, and I was exhausted afterward, but it was absolutely a fun time, and 10 out of 10 would recommend. Some differences between this GP and the last GP Orlando a couple years ago is this is the first Channel Fireball event I've ever attended, and it differed vastly from when Star City Games was handling it. My own opinion, I kind of prefer the way Star City ran their tournaments a little bit better, but that's not to say that this one was completely terrible or there was anything majorly wrong with it. It just feels like the value a little bit with Star City's events was a touch higher, and you got a little bit more for a little bit less, and it was also a bigger event 2 years ago or whatever. Regardless, it was a good time. Kudos to Channel Fireball for holding a fairly organized event and, just providing a fun spot for a lot of Magic players to spend their weekend. Moving on, coming out of the Pro Tour and out of the GP and in Standard, there's been this whole controversy about the card Nexus of Fate. The argument was before, with these Buy a Box promos that are only exclusively printed as Buy a Box promos, if the card is unplayable and doesn't break Standard, fine, whatever, who cares. Nexus of Fate is very playable and is now the centerpiece of one of the best decks in Standard, and the shortage of supply combined with the popularity of this deck has kind of frustrated a lot of Magic players. Personally, I don't really care that much. If I want to play the Nexus of Fate deck, I will buy them on the secondary market. They are expensive. They're like $30 each right now, but I don't have that much invested in Standard right now, nor do I care much for Standard right now, so it affects me personally very little, although I do understand it does feel bad that one of the best decks in the format needs 4 of a card that you can only get now in the secondary market, that you can't open in packs, so the supply is limited, the demand is high, and that's going to create some price boundaries for a lot of people, and I don't think that's fair, especially for Standard. I understand the price barrier of entry for Legacy and even Modern to an extent, but Standard is supposed to be your entry-level bread and butter, everybody can jump into Standard and play and have fun sort of format, and I understand there is value to cards and sometimes things get expensive, but I don't feel like they should have done this to, knowing that it would affect Standard or that it could affect Standard, and then it has. So it is what it is. Get your Nexus of Fates if you want to play that deck. If not, then play Red and do just as well. It's fine. Beyond that, more issues with cards specifically. Apparently, people have been coming out of the woodwork talking about counterfeits, and there have been situations dealing with counterfeits where in some tournaments there have been some disqualifications because people were unknowingly playing with counterfeits that they purchased from large retailers like TCG Player. That feels terrible. That feels really, really bad. The Chinese counterfeit market is sort of running rampant and getting better and better at what they're doing. And this is something that I've seen in other walks of, or other aspects of my life. I'm a tattoo artist, and a big problem with China and tattooing is tattoo machines that are very expensive, that builders and companies put a lot of time and research and effort into building and crafting and putting together out of the highest quality materials. Months later get knocked off by China, and people have been hoodwinked and have bought Chinese knockoffs and sold as the real thing, and then they fall apart and people get upset and lose money and stuff like that. So the Chinese counterfeit market isn't just Magic related, it's with a ton of products. And the problem with Magic cards is some of these counterfeits are getting so good that if you're not looking for it and it's in a sleeve and you're just cool, I got my cards, sleeve them up, throw them in a deck and go, you could get burned. And it's a lesson to be learned. It shouldn't have to be this way, but check your cards out when you're buying from vendors at events. When you buy online, check the cards, or get somebody who knows what they're looking for to check the cards. And then you could try to safeguard yourself a little bit more and you won't get burned, hopefully. It's a bad feeling I hope nobody has to deal with anymore. And one day I hope we live in a world where we can get some of these expensive cards reprinted by Wizards so the counterfeit market doesn't really stand a chance of remaining as profitable as it is for these Chinese knockoff factories that do this sort of thing. Outside of that, the Twitter world has been running kind of rampant talking about the counterfeits, talking about other things in the community. A big topic of controversy in recent days in Twitter is the very notorious, well-known Magic player slash cheater, Alex Bertini, just top-8'd Grand Prix LA this past weekend, and the Magic world on Twitter has been very, very outspoken and against this dude playing Magic because he's been recorded on film cheating multiple times, has gone through bans or suspensions from the DCI and returned to the game multiple times, and has been caught cheating after having been banned for cheating, and yet is allowed to return. And now he top-8'd an event, and many people, most people are kind of finding it hard to believe that he accomplished this top 8 honestly without having cheated throughout this whole event. Not only that, a lot of people are outraged that he now is qualified for the Pro Tour again, which is supposed to be the highest level of prestige in Magic the Gathering competitive play, but is now going to be tarnished by the fact that a known cheater is qualified and going to play in it. And if he does well at the Pro Tour, people are going to lose their damn minds. It's going to be ugly, and it's going to be unfortunate for the community as a whole that there are other players out there, people who I disagree with firmly, people who I don't care for personally, who have been banned for stuff less related to the game than Alex Bertini has. You know, free reign to run around and play Magic and GPs and top 8 and stuff, and he's still allowed to play this game. I think that there is precedent set for giving people a second chance, and they have come back and have proven that they are a value to the community and they should be welcome. But like, this is now like third chance at least, and maybe after the second one, that's when Wizards probably should have just stepped in with the lifetime ban. regardless, people are calling for this dude's head, basically, and it sucks to have to see the community so torn up about it. I don't want him playing in competitive tournaments. I'm not a fan of the precedent that this sets, the amount of flexibility Wizards of the Coast and DCI have had with this guy. It is what it is, and hopefully continued success from him does not come easy, and if it does, hopefully they keep a tighter look on him and kind of try their best to scrutinize every step he makes in the game. And if they find him cheating again, hopefully we could just all confidently say that this is it, /straw, he's out, but who knows. Beyond that stuff, a couple quick ones. The ban and restricted announcement came out today, this morning, which is part of why I'm making this video. And unfortunately for us who were waiting for Stoneforge Mystic to be unbanned in Modern, no changes to any format. I think with Legacy this is fine, because Legacy is right now damn near a perfect format. Standard is fine. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. And like people who were wanting Chain Whirler to be banned a while ago, we all kind of figured out that the black-red deck is not the only good deck in the format, so that card is fine. It does fine work. It's a great card, but it's not format breaking. And then Modern, a lot of people wanted Stoneforge unbanned. I was one of them. A lot of people want Splinter Twin unbanned. I am also one of them. And no changes, which is interesting. I thought that there may have been an actual banning, and I was leaning toward the fact that there would more certainly be an unbanning, but it's fine. A lot of people thought maybe Ancient Stirrings would be on the chopping block. Basically, every time there's an announcement, people are calling for either Ancient Stirrings, Mox Opal, or even like Simian Spirit Guide. Those are like the notorious 3 cards. I don't care if those cards get banned or not. Ancient Stirrings would probably be the most notoriously good card in a number of decks that it just creates this incredible level of consistency. But I don't care if it doesn't get banned. It's fine. I don't mind playing against Ancient Stirrings decks. No big deal. The fact that nothing was unbanned, I think now is a good time to unban it. Maybe they don't want to unban Stoneforge or unban Splinter Twin or anything else in the format right now during Modern PPTQ season. Maybe they don't want to shake it up during the season where it matters. So maybe the next time around, once we're back to Standard season, there will be a change to Modern. Who knows? Personally, with Modern, I have a love-hate relationship with it at the moment. I don't feel like the format is as fun as it's been in the past. I have had troubles with the format because, as you know, I'm a Death and Taxes player, and I love that deck, and I'll play it in any format that I can. It's just been pretty bad in Modern lately. It's troublesome when the deck that you like isn't playable at the moment. So I shifted to Jeskai Control, and by the time I was ready to play Jeskai Control, that deck's getting pretty bad too. Now it's warping toward blue-white, so I've just had some bad beats going on with Modern lately, and it's been a little discouraging, and I'm not the sort of dude just to like say screw it and just play the perceived best deck or play a deck that I don't like because it's great at the moment. But I might have to suck it up and do that. Whatever, it is what it is. I may be tronning people here pretty soon. Who knows? That's why I was hoping for Stoneforge to be unbanned, because maybe it gives Death and Taxes a shot in the arm, or a new archetype comes back into play, like Stoneblade in Modern, where I totally enjoy that sort of gameplay and that sort of deck, so it'd be right up my alley. But if there's no changes now, I'll just stick to playing more Legacy if I can. And I'm actually going to like play a little more Standard than I have been lately. The GB kind of made me want to play more Standard. So that's it with the banned and restricted list stuff. Beyond that, Legacy is Magic's best format. There, I said it. The gameplay has been amazing. Post Deathrite and Gataxian Probe. And my deck is one of the best decks in the format, if not the best deck in the format, and that is Death and Taxes. The new Death Shadow build that came out at the Pro Tour from Josh Utter Layton and Luis Scott Vargas is probably in the top tier of decks, maybe the best or second best, but Death and Taxes isn't far behind it, and it feels good. It feels good to know that whenever I go to a Legacy tournament, I'm bringing a deck that is equipped to deal with the format. And that's part of the reason why I play Death and Taxes, that even when it's not the perceived best deck in the format, it's always solid. So that feels good, and if I don't have the ability to enjoy Modern as much as I want to, I'll play Legacy and enjoy that format even more. That's pretty much all I've got for today, guys. I appreciate it. I know we're going a little bit long. If you've stuck around this long, I appreciate you. Please feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the counterfeits, about the Alex Bertini situation, about the ban list changes. If you went to any big events or GPs lately, let me know how you did down below. Or you can always reach out to me on Twitter at MTGBiggie. I always converse on there and have a nice back and forth with other people, other YouTube creators, other community members, and just people that watch my videos and like to interact. That's a good place to do it. I'll have a couple videos in the corners here below where you can check out some past videos, give those a look if you'd like. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. I'll have a button up here probably, or over there probably, where you can click. It's a little cartoon picture of my face. It'll sign you up to see when I post new videos, and then there's a little bell down below that'll give you all the notifications. So whenever I post a video, you'll know about it. And I look forward to hearing from all of you. It's been a good time, and I know I've been away from the YouTube grind a little bit, but here we are, and I've had a lot of fun with this. So I appreciate everything, and I'll talk to you again soon.